Welcome to another episode of exploring the Jungle Adventures DLC that just came out for The Sims 4, and in this video we'll be checking out the buy and build stuff, so I figured we might as well start out by looking at some of the pre-built stuff. As you can see, this is going to be a very colorful pack. I mean, just look at that yellow cabinetry, which is crazy, and I love this rug. We also have a bathroom here, which means that we can pretty much build an entire house from this set, because there's pretty much everything you would need in it. So we've got the kitchen, we have a bathroom, we got a bedroom. There's also some cool colored themes, so there is a lot of blues as well as the oranges and the reds and the yellows. We also have an outdoor seating area, which looks amazing. I am such a fan of the fountain, which we'll be checking out in closer detail later, but look at this outside area. It all looks so good. We also have some of the plants that we can get from this pack. So we have these little palms right here, and this is the only color options you have is these two. I find these reds to be very strange. Like, I'm curious where this is going to fit into the theme of the world. Maybe there'll be a certain temple that's surrounded by it or something like that. We also have this big old tree with lots of yellow flowers in it, and then we have these really tall plants. I mean, they are by far the tallest thing in this world, covered in vines. Unfortunately, these palm tree leaves don't match the default ones that we have. They're quite a bit bluer, as is most of the stuff from this pack. As you can see, this is a kind of a minty blue-green color, opposed to like the dark greens that we have in the rest of this world. So that doesn't quite match, but I still love it so much. I mean, look at all of these plants growing off of the trunk of this tree. We also have these things down here. We've got some new grass, some real pokey plants. We have one of these bushes that can be used as a bathroom and I think a bed. It's kind of funny that they just keep using it, but I guess it makes sense because they've all been in DLCs, so some people might not have these yet. We also have these little ferns and these flowers, which I adore. They're so pretty, but this is the only color option you have. They don't even have any where the flowers are different. It's too bad. We have this guy with his big old leaves, which is really cool. We have this, which it's a massive, it's a 6x7 square. Like, oh my god, it's huge. That'll be really nice though, because it seems to layer really well besides the very center. So this could be used to fill out a garden really well. We also have some flowers, which I haven't pulled out quite yet. So we have this one, which has two versions, the red and the green. I do like the color thing, but again, I do wonder where this will be used in the world that makes sense. We also have this guy, which is really neat. I like the shape of it, and it has three versions. We've got those, all of them, it's just the flowers that change color. I like this one and the first one the best. They look the most natural to me. We also got some stuff that goes with fountains and pools. We got a new trim. As you can see here, it's got some pretty cool detail along the edge, and there's a lot of colors actually, from just solid colors, stone colors. There's also one with multiple colors, which I adore. I love the look of that, especially with the little faces on the trim. It also comes with a new pool color. We've got this dark green color and this bright green color. And finally, we have some new algae? I don't know. I've heard people say it both ways. I don't know what's right, but we have some of that. And we've got some really cool looking lilies. And I think those are called lotuses. I'm not sure. These flowers. So we've got these really cool lily pads as well. Oh, and we have this fountain here. It doesn't sit into a pool, but it will sit into a fountain. So if we build one out right here, like that, and grab this guy, it'll sit in it. And it looks amazing. And it does actually run and pour water out. My Sims are in another world right now, so I can't go into live mode to show you guys, but it will start running and it makes an amazing sound. It's also got quite a good combination of colors, from the nice warm stuff to the nice cool stuff. Now on to the doors that we have as options here. You can see we have 6 new things. We have a 2 wide door right here, and it's got some really cool combinations. I love this blue and white one. Even this blue, kind of cream colored one is really cool. We also have some browns, blacks. That's a really vibrant one. That's a cool dark blue color. That would be fun to work with. That serious red, some white, and then you have like the uniform colors. And then you have a 3 wide, 2 wide. These 2 doors take up the same amount of space. That's crazy. Certainly doesn't look like it, but maybe it's technically a 4 wide. But it has all of the same color combinations. Does it have the design on the other side? No, it doesn't have this cool bit. Right here we have a new arch. It has the same kind of color theme as you would expect from the door frames that we just saw. And it's strangely enough, it is a 3 wide, even though it only has this 1 wide exit or entrance. I think it's because of this top thing, so it'd be fun to build around, but you'd have to keep in mind that it is a 3 wide, even though you only get that one little entrance. We have a stone version here, which has got some really cool colors in it. I can imagine it being really nice for, besides the temples, like maybe a pool build. And then you have the same kind of stone style, but this one only has 3 colors opposed to the like 7 or 8 that you have here. And finally you have this temple door, which looks really cool, but again would be very specific in your build. You wouldn't use this in your average home for most people. So it'd be cool to see what people will end up doing with this. We also have the windows, and we have quite a few new windows here. We have these little, like, I imagine them as being like cement or stone. I've seen them around in front of like public bathrooms and that kind of thing. So it'll be cool to see these used. It is unfortunate they cannot stack because technically they're, you know, windows, and windows can only be 1 per wall tile, I guess. So you get this smaller one like so, and then you have the set of 3, which will be cool. I don't know what kind of colors we have here. Some stone colors, darker grays. So there's nothing too exciting about the colors, nothing too vibrant, but there is a lot of choices to go with what you're trying to build. Next we have this window here, and it has the same theme that we do on all of them for the wood colors. I like it. It's a 3 wide, I think? Yeah, a 3 wide window. And then we have this pair of windows here. And I love it because it looks like a closed version of this window, especially from the inside. And we'll come back to these here in a second, but we also got these 3 windows right here, each having the closed on each side and then one without the door. I can't imagine using the one without the door because I like the idea of them being able to close the door if there's some kind of storm or something like that where they need to kind of shut down the house a bit. And lastly, we have this temple window here, which is really cool. I do wonder if it'll ever be used in kind of standard homes. We'll see. And for the wall accessories, or wall sculptures technically, we have this guy right here. We have one longer one here, and we have this balcony, which is really pretty. I love how much everything kind of works together and flows together. It makes me very happy. It'd be really cool if you could put a potted plant up into this. I think that would look really cool. We also have these 3 new wall plants with like ferns and vines and flowers. None of them have any kind of color changes that you can do. This is just what you've got. And then for some of the temple decoration kind of stuff, we have these trims. And as you can see, it comes in separate little parts so you can build it very specifically. It also has 4 colors, a different stone, a muted color, and a very colorful version, which looks really nice. We also have this guy who has kind of the same theme. This one's going to be a older chipped paint look, and then you're going to have the nice new painted color. And here's a longer version. It's just a set of 4 technically, but all in one. And here's a full version of this guy. You have these little weird things that I think will look really nice for building like columns or framing things, like maybe windows or around a fireplace. I think those will be some really nice uses for that thing. Then we have these wall glyphs. As you can see, they're all separate like so. And each of them has 4 color options. You know, we have the 2-stone, the faded paint, and the richer paint color. There's a variance in the colors that they have, but you'll have that same pattern throughout all of them. And it's kind of interesting looking at different names, like this one's death, this one's poison, this one's food. So I do wonder if these will be used throughout the temples to hint towards things, maybe. Like maybe this will be a warning that there is a poison trap coming up, or this one's like a spider trap or something like that. So it'll be interesting to see how these are used throughout the temples, or if they're just decorations. And finally, in this area, we have these vine flower things, and with the shape of it, I think it'd be really cool to be able to make like an arch that you could go through, or to frame something like maybe one of these, so that's kind of hidden and very pretty. So that's what we have in the build mode, except for walls and paper and floors, which we will be looking at next. As you can see, we got a lot in the way of walls and floor options, so let's just get into it. So first off, my game doesn't like there being so many on the walls, but we have these they remind me of like bathroom tiles almost. We have these 3 different colors right here. And then we have this guy, which has a variety of these little flower and small tile variations along with color variations. And then we have this guy where the wall is pretty much, I'm trying not to trigger its flashing, but as you can see, the walls pretty much are the same colors, but the little tiles along the bottom vary. And that's this guy right here. And then for these high tiles, we have a ton of color and tile combinations. I think pretty much all of them, except for a few, are different tiles, which is really cool. There's a lot that I really like, particularly this guy. I really enjoy. And then there is a version that is the same tile choices, but at a smaller height. So we have it like this. We also have these solid smooth stone options, which I believe are over here on this half. And we have a Steco New, which is these, and this is not all of the colors on that, but I kind of ran out of wall space. So they're just they tend to be a little more vibrant than the first set right there, but look at all of those choices we have now. It's crazy. We also have these stucco, not sure how to say that actually, with a little bit of a red trim at the bottom. I'm trying to find where I placed it. So it's going to follow the same theme colors as some of the other walls, but you have this difference in the wall texture. So I don't know how well you can see it, but this middle one right here is very smooth, and then it goes to a little smoother and then a very rough texture. And the color combinations can be seen over here on these walls, which include some stone across the bottom, but you'll be able to find these colors in the here. So blues, greens, and reds. And here you can see that difference in the very smooth on the one side and the very rough on the other. The stones are also a little more muted with the smoother side. We also have some stuff for the temples. So here you can see some of the examples. Again, not all of them are placed out because there is a huge variety of them and I was just running out of space, but a lot of them will have these 3 sets. So you'll have a clean paint version, a chipped paint version, and then a version covered in moss. So you can just kind of see the aging process. And here is a couple of the varieties that you can find that will also follow the same pattern. Here's another set, which is these big bricks right here. And it again will follow this variety of clean paint to kind of chip paint to this mossy one. I like this speckled one because it looks kind of like space to me, so I think that looks cool. And then lastly, you have this version right here that has the trim that kind of goes 2/3 down the wall. We also have a ton of flooring options now. We have a new wood type right here. Some of them you can see is there's like barely a difference, so I don't know why they're even there, but maybe one of them is exactly what you need for your build. This is actually two of the same, just so you could see what it would look like with more than one of the same together. But I like this set. I like that they're a little off colored from each other, each board, and I like that look. We also have these tiles that are kind of old and chipped, and boy, do we have a lot of color choices. I'm kind of sad though, they have every color in the rainbow but a purpley one. So I don't know why they just decided to skip that, and you'll see that throughout like the entire pack, that they'll have this rainbow of color but no purple. And then we have these tiles, which I am in love with, because especially these ones right here, because of the variance in the colors just a little bit, it makes the floor look a little less repetitive by having these little tiny color changes within the tiles. So I really like this floor, and I plan on using that quite a bit. And the next one we have is very old tiled. I think this might look good out in the dirt or something like that in a very old build. But you also again have a huge variety of colors and lots of reds and yellows down into the blues. And we have these. This one doesn't have nearly as many options, but I don't think it really needed to. It's a very standard tile, and I can see this being used in many, many builds. And then you have this, which will be very minimally used, hopefully. Like, this is an accent tile for sure. But you have these 4 designs, the 2 llama things, this one, and then the kind of, I think it was called poison. And then you have it in this color plus these 3 colors. So there's quite a few options, but it's limited to these 4 icons. For the last part of the build aspect of this video, we do have 2 new stairs. This one is very colorful, and at least in some of them, and it also does give you some of the more plain ones, but as you can see they have a variety in the side colors, the front tiles, and the top tiles. We also have these 3 stone stairs that are clearly meant for in the temple or something like that. I do like the defaults that they have underneath the stairs, and we got a new railing. The railing will be matching the colors of all of these fences right here, and I adore this fence and railing combination. I will for sure be using this in the future. It's probably one of my favorite railings that we have, so I imagine I will be using quite a bit of it. And I love that there's all these standard colors and then like 2 blue ones, just cuz. And we have 3 new stone, like, low walls, which I'm happy with. I feel like I don't have enough choice for these, though I gotta say their colors are very minimal difference. And then lastly, we have these 4 pillar or column things. We start out with just the gray, we add a little color, we got the faded color, and then a very potent color. So again, that's gonna be the theme of how this thing works. Now into the buy aspect of the build and buy of this video. We have the comfort stuff. We have a ton of new little personal beds, as well as the big beds. They're going to have the same color combination, so I just went ahead and placed out one set, and then we have, this is what the full size bed's going to look like. We also have a set of chairs like this that match the colors theme of the beds. We also have a tiny little stool, 2 different chairs that would sit at a dinner table, and a whole lot of new bar stools, which I'm really excited about. We also have a ton of new full-sized couches. Here, as you can see, all of the different color combinations, and then we have a love seat that does match. It's going to have a different pattern, but it does follow the same color theme. So we have those, and we have these little benches with pillows that I think would look nice maybe like on a balcony or a very open room that you would sit in, which would have a great view of the outdoors. So that's a lot of comfort stuff to be getting in this pack. Next we have all of the surface items in this pack, and as you can see there's quite a bit. Not all of the colors of everything is put out because some of it is very close and some of it just ran out of space. So here are our counters. There's lots of really cool colors on the tops and at the bottoms. It looks kind of like probably a concrete top. We also have a set of cupboards that go along with it. The colors seem to match the countertops, as some of them do match the woods. If you do a lot of Sims, you will notice that there is a set of counters missing, and that is the island counters. Don't know why, for some reason this pack doesn't have it, but I'm pretty sure every pack ever, it comes in pairs, and for some reason this one doesn't. We also have some new shelves, and there is a huge variety of colors. Not all of them are listed here, so you can see down there's a lot of colors, and there is a version of it that includes knickknacks and stuff on it, which I adore. Anything that helps something look more cluttered and lived in with less effort, I'm good with. And they will mirror the colors of the other shelves, so they'll match well. We also have 2 new dining tables. We have one that sits 8, and this table sits 6, and they mirror each other in colors, so that's why we don't have all of these ones laid out. We also have these little counter thingies. They're just like, what are they called? Bathroom cabinets. So you can't actually store anything in them, but I really like the look of them. And we also have these cabinets. There is a lot of color choices, but I don't see the difference. So for example, this one, when you select it, it says it's bright yellow. I think it must be so that it matches with another set of items that would have yellow, so the wood at least matches, but I don't know why it has an example where there's no difference, because it says yellow but there's none. We also have these little tiny side tables, or just like accent tables, not sure what these are called, but yeah, just long tables. There is more color options than what I have laid out, but I think this shows kind of the variety that you can be getting. We also have these counter things that they look like they'd be dressers, but they're not. They're just like a hallway table. I love the detail on them, and I love the variety, like where some are a solid color, or where the details match the color, and then there's ones where there's a stark difference. I really like that. We also got 2 new side tables, this one with the cool X and this one with the 3 colored planks on the top. Most of them are pretty close to the same color except for this guy, which looks really cool. It also came with a full one of those really big coffee tables, the big square ones that we've started to get recently, and they're going to mimic the color theme of the woods in this guy. We also got 3 new picnic tables, and what's really cool is if you get up close you can see there's like someone scratched into them, and there's drawings and words and stuff, along with the chipped paint and kind of stains. We also have these little pedestals right here, which I imagine we'll be seeing a lot of inside the temple, so I'll probably hold treasures on top. And we have these cabinets. Again, not all the colors are shown, but you kind of get the gist. There's no real wow colors, they're just the different varieties of browns, whites, grays, and blacks that you'd expect. And you have these guys, which I really like. They're like wine holding cabinets, and some of them are the one tone, and some of them have a variety of tones between the trim and the wood, which look really cool. This is kind of a cool one. It's kind of pink. I didn't realize when I was placing it. Here we could see all of the plumbing items that we received with this pack, and we got by far my favorite sink in the game. This whole bowl and the separate faucet, and if you take a wall and draw it behind the sink, the plumbing will disappear into the wall, which looks really cool, that it could just be coming out of the wall into the bowl. I love it so much. And this color theme right here, the bright blue and black, is by far one of my favorite color combinations, and I've seen it a couple of times in this pack, which is so cool. We also have a new sink. Not entirely sure about it with the backdrop. I kind of wish that if it was going to do that, the counters would also have the same backdrop, so it kind of goes seamlessly together. I think that would be really cool, and I wish they'd have at least one set that did that, but I think it would work well in maybe a bathroom and have the mirror right on top of that. As you can see, there's what colors you'd expect, and then there's a couple that you wouldn't expect. We also have some new showers, which are really cool because the there's a tile wall that will match perfectly, and when you use it together, it makes it look like the shower is just the two panes of glass, and it all flows together seamlessly, and it looks really cool. We also have a whole bunch of new bathtubs, including the bright yellow one. What's interesting about these is I feel like it would be really cold, or like it would make your baths really cold fast because the stone would just like absorb all of the heat. I don't know. I've never been in a stone bathtub, but it just seems like it wouldn't be convenient. Here we can see all of the new activities, skill-related objects. This is the table where you will take some of the things you have found in when you're exploring the jungle, and you'll be able to examine them, see if they're fakes or not, see how much they're worth, that kind of stuff. We also have a new bar, so you can see a lot of the wood is exactly the same, but some of them have a little trim difference or a little bit of a stone difference, or like the metal difference. That's what I was sitting here like, I can't see why there's two of these, but yeah, this one has the metal across the bottom, this one has the wood across the bottom. I do love the details in it, but I feel like if they're going to give us this many, they should be a little more varied, I guess. I don't know. We also have all of these tables right here that are some more of the vendor tables that we've gotten in the city living. Yeah. But this one has the nice cool fabrics and the stuff underneath it, which I really appreciate. And then we have a new food stall that we'll be seeing in the world. Here we have several things. We've got appliances, storage, and lighting. First off, with lighting, we have two new lamps. We have these lanterns right here. They have several colors, but they're hardly noticeable in the differences that you have there. And then you have these with the really cool shades. They have these two patterns and a pretty big variety of color. So as you can see, there's 12 different options that you have here. We also have these new wall lights, which are amazing. They come in a variety of metal colors. We also have these chandeliers that come in 7 different colors. I'm not actually sure which one I missed, but here are 6 of them. We also have a new set of appliances, including all of these fridges and stoves to match. They seem to be a really weird design choice for this pack. I don't know what the correlation was between the style of fridge and the pack that we have. It seems very, I don't know, it seems like the wrong decade almost, like with the rounded fridges and this shape right here. It's just a very old looking style, which I don't know why that's what they went with. We also have these bin barbecues, which will be amazing for anyone who wants to do a rags to riches. It would be an awesome first cooking thing. And you have this color variation and then a grungy version of each. We also have this set of dressers that you can have in bedrooms and stuff, and they come in pretty standard browns, whites, grays, and blacks that you would expect. And then we also have these new chests, which will be looting inside of the temples that we find. And we have a large selection of these browns, whites, grays, blacks to store your artifacts inside. There's storage up here, there's some down here and there. I think there's going to be something up here, but I didn't find something small to go up there if there can. So that is some of the stuff that we're there. And last, we will be checking out some of the decorations. And finally, you can see here we have all of the decorations, which there are a lot of. Here we have this potted plant, and the only thing that changes between these is the pot itself. And as you can see, there is a lot of them that I did not place out. But here's just a couple of the different patterns that are options. Here is a set of 3 plants, which is really cool, but I do wish they were divided because I would use this one right here a lot because the leaves of the plant aren't any wider than the pot, and so they wouldn't stick out through anything, which would be amazing. Again, you can see that there's a couple versions that I did not place, and that the only difference that we have is the pots themselves. Here, this little guy has a ton of variations, way more than you'd expect from something that's so small. Again, just the bottom is what's changing. We also have these little wall cracks. Some of them are a little darker or lighter just so that you can match it with what you're putting it on. And we have this little broken piece which matches the thing that lines the top of the walls. So it looks like it could have fallen off. We also have this broken wall here, and it just has these three colors. We also have some mirrors, which I adore because they sit on the wall, so they are a wall mirror, but they lean a little bit, which I think is amazing. It makes it just look that much more homey. We also have this new fireplace, which would be really cool in an outdoor area or even in a kitchen. We also have this little, I think it's called the homespun wall decoration. Ooh, that one's vibrant. And it's got several different patterns as well as color combinations. Here's like a big old medallion thing that looks like it was found in a ruin and brought home to display. Here's a weird light sign that I don't know what it relates to. I don't know why it's here. It's not the same kind of style or theme. I don't know why it's here, but it's here. We also have this rug, which it is technically a rug, but it's very clear it's supposed to be on like a stone floor as a centerpiece. And it's going to be the same except for the colors. We also have this guy right here, which is very vibrant and very big, which is cool. We have different leaves and patterns. And same with this little guy. I like the shape of this one. I don't know if it's a size that we have a lot of. Oops. And I love this one. Oh, I'm so excited to make a build. More of those llamas. But yeah, there's a lot there. We also have this broken pot, which has bones and a jewel in it, I think. And the outside of it changes ever so slightly for paint. And then we have these big guys right here with all of these versions. The pattern stays the same and just the paint that changes. And we have this set of 3 pots. I would be more upset that they're not separate, but to be honest, I can't imagine using these very often in my own personal builds, so I'm okay with it. We also have this set of 2, and they're much newer than the other pots that we have available to us. This is a pretty cool kind of funky color combination. We also have this statue, which I feel like must reference something because it's kind of specific and a little more detailed and not necessarily sim related, so I'm not sure what this is referencing, but it does seem like it references something in real life. There's an avocado. We also have this set of little skeletons, guard things. Some of them are covered in these like tiles, and then these 3 are just a set of bones. We also have these 3 signs, which I cannot imagine ever using outside of like camping or something along those lines. I can't imagine using them in any of my builds. So if you guys have any ideas where you would use it, let me know, because I can't think of anything. We also have these massive columns. They're huge. They're taller by far than the tallest wall you can have in a build. And you have the normal stone up to the very painted version, and you have one with these big chunks missing and a version without. We also have this really cool little awning thing. I think it would look cool to have like a picnic table under it, or to have it over a door pressed up against the building. We have a couple of versions, some with the painted wood, some very brightly painted, and some that are just kind of standard. This one looks probably the newest. That one would have just been built. And finally, we have these big guys, which are kind of hard to miss. You have all of these color combinations that you can see here, and then you have the versions of the horse llama, the bird, a flower, and a cat. And what's really cool is if you get up close, you can really look at the details that's carved in here. Like, there's a freezer bunny right there, and like a weird little creature there, and a UFO. So I like that there's these little details carved into the sides of these. But I think that's all that there is in the buy and build mode. Sorry this is very long, but it's going to be shorter than my original, hopefully, which was like 45 minutes edited. So trying out a different version of doing these, but hopefully you guys can really see what you can be getting from this pack. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.